Here's a list of the best hidden gem strikers in Football Manager 2023. Did I mention they're Wonderkids? That's the name of the YouTube channel. It's called FMWONDERKIDS. Hit subscribe, hit like. We've got 16 strikers on the video today. First up, a 17-year-old Irish striker playing for Brighton and is low-key one of the best young strikers in the game in Football Manager, in my opinion. Available for around 20 million quid at the start of the game, and he's already, in this save in particular, got finishing 14, heading 12, the height of 6 foot as well as jumping reach of 12 means he's going to be able to finish with his head, which isn't something which is easy to come by in Football Manager 2023. You can see that he's fast with acceleration of 15 and pace of 13 and has got good work rate as well, which is crucial when playing the type of gegenpress system which is very popular in the game. No real standout pros or cons. When we look under the bonnet, we can see my scout telling me he possesses a fair amount of pace, balanced to normal personality, and has English as his second nationality, and on the con side can only play in a couple of positions right now, for example. Next we got young Seung, contracted to Wolves but playing for Grasshopper here. He's a 20-year-old South Korean player. He's already had one cap and scored one goal for his country. Look at his mentals and physicals in particular right here. He's got aggression 17, determination 17, work rate 16, acceleration 16, pace 14. Like, he's already cut from a really good piece of cloth. Again, around the 20 million mark will get you this player straight away, although the fact that he's out on loan could be a bit of an issue straight at the start of the game. But fairly consistent performer underneath the bonnet is huge. Although what's not good is that he's currently out with a long-term injury. Whether that's the case at the start of the game in your saves, I don't quite know, because we're about a week in on here, so he might have picked it up a week in. Let me know in the comments below if he's out straight away at the start of the game. Next, we've got Alessandro Bolson, a 17-year-old Italian striker with a fairly determined attitude, and you can see that in his mental attributes there of determination 17, with great stats and the potential to be really, really good in the future. 13 finishing, 13 first touch, and 13 composure already at the age of 17, and you can see already he's got acceleration and pace to burn as well. He's got the technique, he's got the heading ability, even though he's 5'9". Next we got Dijk, the 16-year-old Spanish balanced personality, promising striker according to the media. Dribbling 13, heading 13, technique 13 already. Off the ball flair, acceleration, anticipation, agility, and pace. Again, probably around the £1 million mark you can get this guy for, but my scouts do bring up a couple of red flags here, fairly susceptible to injuries, and should be looking to add a greater consistency to his game. Emre Trezgel next, a player that we spoke about quite a lot on the channel already at this early stage of Football Manager 2023, and someone who I really like personally. You can see he's a 16-year-old English striker who can use either foot, which I think is quite overpowered in Football Manager. Finishing 15 already, as well as first touch 13, composure 13, and bravery 13. And you can see he's got great technique, penalty taking, natural fitness, and pace. You'll get him for around 8 million quid. There's no real pros and no real cons when it comes to hidden attributes, but trust me, this guy is going to be good in the future. Rory Wilson next, the 16-year-old Scottish striker playing for the Aston Villa under 18s. In this save, he's got finishing of 17 already. This is the type of player that you used to get in Football Manager days of old, right? There'd always be this one or two players who are like 16 years old with finishing of 20 already, and you can just buy him and put him straight into your first team almost. Acceleration, balance, jump in reach, pace. He's 6'1". He's got determination, flair, off the ball, teamwork, aggression, obviously finishing, first touch, heading, and technique. But the concerns would be how low some of the other attributes are. Obviously he's 16, so they will get higher. But if you're thinking about putting him into your first team straight away, for example, that would be the concern. In terms of reports, we do have a couple of red flags. Very one-footed, fairly susceptible to injuries. Should be looking to add greater consistency. Hopefully he can overcome these, and hopefully these aren't consistent throughout every save. Although it is possible. Do let me know down below if you've signed this guy, and is he any good? Wendo next, the French 20-year-old striker who is ready to go. You can see, I mean, I'm not even going to talk through his attributes because you can see straight away he's ready to go. 15s, 14s, 13s, every single way. Pick him up for about 20 million quid. You can see he's developed well in his hidden attributes. Fairly consistent performer. Fairly adaptable when it comes to living in another country. I can't actually recommend this signing highly enough. Next is Enrique, Next is Enrique Araujo, a huge potential ability here in this particular save, and really good attributes already. The 20-year-old Portuguese Benfica player has got finishing 14 and composure 14, as well as anticipation, aggression, off the ball. He wouldn't be out of place in a top 4 side with these attributes. Pick him up for around 10 million quid. You can see a hugely consistent performer here in this save, fairly adaptable when it comes to living in another country. No downsides. Get a hold of him. He will score goals, I guarantee it. Next we got Miyaka Berich. Next we got Miyaka Berith, I think that's how you say it, the 19-year-old Danish player who's actually on loan from Arsenal. Really good attributes for 19 years old already on this save. Finishing, first touch, passing, technique, great mentals, look at that, work rate 15, vision 12, teamwork 14, etc. Amazing physicals and very tall as well, 6'2". Looking at his reports, you can see fairly consistent performer, right? That's such an important one to have, especially when you're about 20 years old. If you have that, at the young age of 20, you're going to be very, very good. You're going to be a good player. There's no doubt about it. Dion Drenner Beljo next. What a name. Absolutely love that. But look at the attributes as well. Finishing 15 already. Flair 15. Off the ball 14. He's 6'5", and he can head the ball and score penalties as well. I mean, what is not to love about this player? Fairly consistent performer already. Available for probably about 4 million quid. He's an absolute steal and could be a goal machine with that height and that finishing ability. Marcus Leonardo next. For me, this guy isn't a hidden gem anymore because we've spoken about him in so many videos. But for you guys watching, potentially he still could be. Look at the attributes. Finishing, composure, acceleration, all 15s. He's 19 years old. As soon as they pop up to 16s, you've got yourself a top 4, almost world-class player already. Anticipation 14. What's not to love about this guy? Work rate of 14 as well. Obviously, different saves are different and like attributes can vary, etc. But you can see here, fairly consistent performer already. He's going to be good, surely. Even for the like £15 million that you've got to spend on this guy, it's value for money. I think he's one of the best young strikers. Well, he is one of the best young strikers in the game, without a doubt. Okay, next we got Julian Rijkhoff, the 17-year-old Dutch striker with a fairly determined attitude, but crucially can use either foot, right? We spoke about it earlier on in the video. I think it's such an overpowered thing to have. Determination 15 is obviously reflected in his personality. Good physicals, good mentals. I mean, he's not standout, right? You'd expect him to kind of develop really, really fast, hopefully, going into 18, 19, and 20. No real pros and no real cons underneath the bonnet, but huge potential and available for under 10 million quid. What could go wrong? Next we got Dane Scarlett, but potentially not a hidden gem because he does play for Tottenham, right? He's out on loan at Portsmouth here on the save, and possibly in real life as well. But there is a potential that you might not have heard of this guy, which is why he's on the hidden gem list. He's gonna be a gem for certain. Whether he's hidden or not is kind of a bit subjective. Fairly determined personality is reflected in his determination attribute here of 15. He's got pace, natural fitness, and acceleration, as well as finishing 14 already here on this save, and a hugely consistent performer. Look how dark green that target is. That means it's a good number, like 20 out of 20 potentially. Jason Van Duven next, the 17-year-old Dutch player with great attributes. He's an A- signing here for Man City, which tells you how good he's going to be. He's available for less than 10 million quid. No real pros or cons when it comes underneath the bonnet, but look at this here, right? In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see my Man City squad. You can see Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne up there. There's potential for this guy to be Kevin De Bruyne levels. That is so, so good for that type of money. Similar again, Rasmus Højlund. Remember the name, finishing 15 already. And look at that, aggression, anticipation, and bravery. Great physicals, great mentals, and already he's a good finisher. The 19-year-old Danish 6'3" player can also head the ball. He's going to score goals. Looking into his reports, you can see already a fairly consistent performer, a spirited individual, and good at adapting as well. Again, Kevin De Bruyne levels, potentially. To finish off, we've got Sky Vink, a 16-year-old Dutch player with a fairly professional personality, described here by the media as a promising striker. He's already got jumping reach of 14. He's 6'2". You can see heading of 14 as well. So you know this guy is going to score you some headed goals. Dribbling of 14 added to that is kind of like tells you what type of player this is. It's like a Erling Haaland type player, maybe without the finishing levels that Haaland would have had at 16. Determination, 14 as well. Looking at the reports, though, we can see, again, we talk about Erling Haaland. Look at that. Erling Haaland's potential at the top there, and Sky Vink's potential at the bottom here. He's available for under £1 million. Like, what could actually go wrong? So there's your list in full. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to download the list and load it straight into your game, consider hitting the join button just below this video. Everyone who joins as a YouTube member gets access to every single shortlist we've ever made and can download it straight into the game. Patreon, the exact same. I think it's a little bit cheaper as well. But most importantly, please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Please hit subscribe if you are new, and we'll see you soon.